Hello everyone. Today I am going to teach you about large blood vessel of the heart. In this session we will discuss regarding SVC, that is superior vena cava, pulmonary trunk and aorta. Okay, and its part ascending aorta, arch of aorta and descending aorta. Okay, first superior vena cava. It brings deoxygenated blood from the head and neck, upper limbs, and uh, thorax to the heart. Aorta and pulmonary trunk are only two exit channel from the heart, developing from the single truncus arteriosus. The two are intimately related to each other. Superior vena cava. It is a large venous channel which collects blood from the upper half of the body and drains it into the right atrium. It is formed by the union of the right and left brachiocephalic or innominate veins behind the lower border of the first right costal cartilage close to the sternum. Okay, let me show you in diagram. Okay, this diagram shows the surface and course of the SVC. SVC, large venous channel which collects blood from the upper half of the body and drains into the right atrium. You can see it is formed by the union of the right and left brachiocephalic or innominate veins behind the lower border of the first right costal cartilage. Okay, close to the sternum, that you can see. Okay, here left brachiocephalic, right side right brachiocephalic, hemiazygous vein, IVC. Each brachiocephalic vein is formed behind the corresponding sternoclavicular joint by the union of the internal jugular and subclavian vein. Now we will discuss regarding its course. It is approximately 7 cm long. It begins behind the lower border of the sternal end of the first right costal cartilage, pierces the pericardium opposite the second right costal cartilage, and terminates by the opening into the upper part of the right atrium and behind the right costal cartilage, and it has no valves. Okay, now we will discuss regarding its surface marking. Okay, superior vena cava. It is marked by two parallel lines 2 cm apart drawn from the lower border of the right first costal cartilage to the upper border of the third right costal cartilage overlapping the right margin of the sternum. Then right brachiocephalic. It is marked by the two parallel lines 1 cm apart drawn from the medial end of the right clavicle. Same in the left brachiocephalic. In left brachiocephalic 1 cm, it is marked by two parallel lines 1.5 cm apart drawn from the medial end of the left clavicle to the lower border of the first right costal cartilage. It crosses the left sternoclavicular joint and the upper half of the manubrium. Now we will discuss regarding its relation. Anteriorly, chest wall, internal thoracic vessel, anterior margin of the right lung, pleura. Vessel is covered by the pericardium. Posteriorly, trachea, right vagus, root of the lung and posterior lower half of part. Medially, ascending aorta, brachiocephalic artery. Laterally, phrenic nerve, right pleura and lung. Now we will discuss regarding its tributaries. The azygous vein arches over the root of the right lung and opens into the SVC at the level of the second costal cartilage just before the latter enters the pericardium. Several small mediastinal and the pericardial veins drain into the vena cava. Now we will discuss regarding its applied aspect. When the SVC is obstructed above the opening of the azygous vein, the venous blood from the upper half of the body is returned through the azygous vein, and superficial veins are dilated on the chest up to the costal margin. Okay. Now, when the superior vena cava is obstructed below the opening of the azygous vein, blood is returned through the IVC via the femoral vein. Superior veins are dilated on both the chest and abdomen up to the saphenous vein opening in the thigh. The superficial veins connecting the lateral thoracic vein with the superficial vein is known as thoracoepigastric. In cases of mediastinal syndrome, the signs of the SVC obstructions are the first to appear. Now we will discuss regarding aorta. Okay, aorta is the great arterial trunk which receives oxygenated blood from the left ventricle and distributes it to the all parts of the body. It is situated in it is studied in three parts according to its course: ascending aorta, arch of aorta, and descending aorta. Okay, ascending aorta. In this diagram, you can see ascending aorta, arch of aorta, and descending aorta. Okay, aorta, it is the great arterial trunk which receives oxygenated blood from the left ventricle and distributes it to all parts of the body. Ascending aorta arises from the upper end of the left ventricle. It arises about 5 cm long and is enclosed in the pericardium. It begins behind the left half of the sternum at the lower level of the lower border of the third costal cartilage. It runs upward, forward, and to the right and becomes continuous with the arch of aorta and the sternal end of the upper border of the second right costal cartilage. At the root of the aorta, there are three dilatation of the vessels wall called the aortic sinuses. The sinuses are anterior, left posterior, and right posterior. Its relation: anteriorly sternum, left lung pleura, root of the pulmonary trunk, right auricle. Posteriorly, transverse sinus of pericardium, left atrium, right pulmonary artery, right bronchus. To the right, SVC, right atrium. To the left, pulmonary trunk above and left atrium below. Branches: the right coronary artery arises from the aortic sinuses, while the left coronary artery emerges from the left posterior aortic sinuses. Left coronary artery arises from the left posterior aortic sinuses. Now, second portion, arch of aorta, is the continuation of the ascending aorta, situated in the superior mediastinum behind the lower half of the manubrium sterni. Course: it begins behind the upper border of the second right sternocondral junction joint, runs upward, backward, and to the left across the left side of the bifurcation of the trachea. Then it passes downward behind the left bronchus and on the left side of the body of the fourth thoracic vertebra. It thus arches over the root of the lung, ends at the lower border of the body of the fourth thoracic vertebrae by becoming continuous with the descending aorta. Thus, the beginning and the end of arch aorta at the same level, although it begins anteriorly and ends posteriorly. Relation: anteriorly and to the left, 4 nerves including from before backward, left phrenic, lower cervical cardiac branch of the left vagus, upper cervical cardiac branch of the left sympathetic chain, and left vagus. Left superior intercostal vein, deep to the phrenic nerve and superficial to the vagus nerve, left pleura and lung, remains to the thymus. posteriorly and to the right, trachea with the deep cardiac plexus and the tracheobronchial lymph nodes, esophagus, left recurrent laryngeal nerve, thoracic duct, vertebral column. Superiorly, three branches of the arch of aorta, brachiocephalic, left common carotid, and left subclavian. All three artery are close to their origin by the left brachiocephalic vein. Inferiorly, bifurcation of the pulmonary trunk, left bronchus, ligamentum arteriosum, left recurrent laryngeal nerve, its branches. Brachiocephalic artery divides into right common carotid and right subclavian artery. Left common carotid artery, left subclavian artery. Now we will see regarding applied aspect. Aortic knuckle. In PA view of radiographs of the chest, the arch of the aorta is seen a projection beyond the left margin of the mediastinal shadow. The projection is called aortic knuckle. It becomes prominent in the old age. Coarctation of the aorta is localized narrowing of the aorta opposite to the or just beyond the attachment of the ductus arteriosus. An extensive collateral circulation develops between branches of the subclavian artery and those of the descending aorta. These include the anastomosis between the anterior and posterior intercostal artery. These arteries enlarge greatly and produce characteristic notching on the rib. Ductus arteriosus, ligamentum arteriosus, patent ductus arteriosus, Murine fetal life. The ductus arteriosus is short wide channel connecting to the beginning of the left pulmonary artery with the arch of aorta immediately distal to the origin to the left subclavian artery. It conducts most of the blood from the right ventricle into the aorta, thus short circulating the lung. After birth, it is closed functionally within about a week and anatomically within about 8 weeks. Okay. The remnants of the ductus forms a fibrous band called the ligamentum arteriosum. The left recurrent laryngeal nerve hooks around the ligamentum arteriosum. The ductus may remain patent after birth. Condition is called patent ductus arteriosus and may cause serious problem. The condition can be surgically treated. Okay. Aortic aneurysm is a localized dilatation of the aorta which may press upon the surrounding structure and cause the mediastinal syndrome that we have seen. Descending thoracic aorta is the continuation of the arch of aorta. It lies in the posterior mediastinum. Its course begins on the left side of the lower border of the body of the T4 or fourth thoracic vertebra. It descends with an inclination to the right and terminates at the lower border of the 12th thoracic vertebra. Relation: anteriorly root of lung, pericardium, heart, esophagus, diaphragm. Posteriorly vertebral column, hemiazygous vein. To the right side, esophagus, azygous vein, thoracic duct, right lung, pleura. To the left lung and pleura. Branches: 9 posterior intercostal arteries on each side for 3rd to 11th intercostal space. Subcostal artery on each side. 2 left bronchial arteries. The upper left artery may give rise to the right bronchial artery, which usually arises from the 3rd right posterior intercostal artery. Esophageal branches supplying the middle 1/3 of the esophagus. Pericardial branches, mediastinal branches, superior phrenic arteries to the posterior part of the superior surface of the diaphragm. Branches of this artery anastomosis with those of the musculophrenic and pericardio and pericardiophrenic arteries. Okay, and now we will discuss regarding last part of the session, pulmonary trunk. The wide pulmonary trunk starts from the summit of the infundibulum of the right ventricle. Both the ascending aorta and pulmonary trunk are enclosed in a common sleeve of serous pericardium in front of the transverse sinus of pericardium. Pulmonary trunk carrying deoxygenated blood overlies the beginning of ascending aorta. It courses to the left and divides into the right and pulmonary arteries under the concavity of the aortic arch at the level of sternal angle. The right pulmonary artery courses to the right behind ascending aorta. SVC anterior to esophagus become part to the root of the lung. It gives off its branch to the upper lobe before entering the hilum. Within the lung, the artery descends posterolaterally to main bronchus and divides like bronchi into lobar and segmental artery. The left pulmonary artery passes to the left anterior descending thoracic aorta to become part of the root of the left lung. At its beginning, it is connected to the inferior aspect of arch of aorta by ligamentum arteriosus, a remnant of ductus arteriosus. Rest of the course is same as of the right branch. Thank you everyone.